In this video, we're going to be expanding more on how to tell the time when we're speaking. In the last video, we looked at the 4 main points on a clock, the 12, the 3, the 6 and the 9, and we learned that they have different words that come with them. For example, with 12 we have o'clock, with 3 we have quarter past, with 6 we have half past, and 9 we have quarter to. We're going to be looking more in this video at how we tell the time when speaking if the minute hand is not on one of these main points. As you can see, anywhere in these blue areas. The first fact that we need to know before we start is that there are 60 minutes in an hour. We know this because we follow the minute rule, which is we multiply whatever number the minute hand is on by 5. We can see that the biggest number that is on the clock is 12, and if we do 12 multiplied by 5 we get 60. So we know that there are 60 minutes in an hour. Now let's begin. In the last video we looked at how the clocks have 4 quarters each with them, and we looked at these each 4 quarters. However, in this video, we're going to be looking at the clock's halves and how they interact with each other. So, let's start with our first half. Let's look at the 2 main points on this half that we want to look at today. We can see that they have quarter past and half past. Both of these phrases have the word past in their name. This is because this half of the clock describes by how much we have passed on the clock in minutes. So, when talking about other numbers on the clock in this half, we will also use past in the phrase when speaking. For this half, we're going to say the minute, then the word past, and then we're going to say the hour. So let's find the minute first. We always follow the minute rule when finding the minute, which is we multiply the number on the minute hand by 5. As we can see, the minute hand, which is the longer red one here, is pointing at 2. So we do 2 multiplied by 5, which equals to 10. We know that, and we can see that the hour is pointing at 5. So overall we would say that it is 10 past 5. Let's try it again with a different time. This time the minute hand is pointing at 4. We could say what the time is by using the minute rule again, which is 4 multiplied by 5, which is 20. The hour hand has not changed, it is still pointing at 5. So we would say it is 20 past 5. Now we've looked at that half, let's look at the other half. On this other half we have one main point that we want to look at today, and that is quarter to. In this half, we are describing by how much we have left on the clock until the next hour. So we're going to see how many minutes we need to pass until the next hour will begin. So we will also use the word to in our phrases when speaking. So instead of saying minute past hour, we're going to say minute to hour. With this half of the clock, we're going to be following the minute rule a bit differently. Normally, the minute rule is that the number on the minute hand, we always multiply by 5. But since on this half of the clock, we want to find how many minutes are left until the next hour, so we want to find how many minutes to the next hour, we want to do 60 minutes take away the current minute, which the minute hand sits on. We do this because we know that 60 minutes equals an hour, and we want to find how many minutes are left until the next hour will begin. We know that the minute hand points at the current minute. So if we do 60 minutes, take away the current minute, we will find how many minutes are left until the next hour will begin. So let's work this out. We can see that the current minute is shown by where the minute hand is pointing, which is 10. 10 times 5 equals 50, following the minute rule. So we would do 60 minutes take away 50 minutes, which equals the number of minutes we have left. 60 take away 50 is equal to 10. So we know that there are 10 minutes left until the next hour begins. So we would say 10 and then 2, 7. We say 7 because the hour hand points at 7. Let's try it again with a different time. This time our hands are changed. Remember, we always do 60 minutes, take away the current minute to find how many minutes are left until the next hour begins. We can see that the current minute hand is pointing at 8. If we follow the minute rule and we do 8 multiplied by 5, we find 40. So let's do 60 minutes, take away 40 minutes, which is equal to 20 minutes. So now we know that there are 20 minutes left until the next hour begins. So now we can say that it is 20 to 11. We say 11 because the hour hand is pointing at the number 11. That was a lot that we just went through. It could be confusing to some people, so if it was, you can skip back and you can re-watch it until you understand again. There is one more point that I want to go over in this video, and that is when we want to see what time it is when the minute hand is not pointing at a number. So far we've looked at what it is when the minute hand points at a number, so such as 12 or 2 or 7. But what if the minute hand is not pointing anywhere between them? It's pointing halfway or somewhere like that. Well, to find that out, we need to zoom in on the clock. We can see that on the clocks, they have their each little lines. Each of these little lines represent 1 minute. So we can see that the minute hand is in the past half, which we were talking about. So we're going to see how many minutes there are past the first hour. We can see that it's pointing at this little line. So we're going to count how many minutes it is until that line is reached, which is 8. So there are 8 minutes past the hour. The hour there was 5, so it is 8 past 5. Thank you very much for watching.